In Botswana's sun-drenched Savuti Marsh, where the golden grasslands stretch as far as the eye can see, legends are born in the hush of dawn and the roar of dusk. Among all the great beasts that have walked these plains, none was greater than Sekekama, a lion whose very name became synonymous with power and awe. He wasn't just a lion, he was a force of nature, a living legend whose presence shaped the destiny of his homeland and inspired all who witnessed his reign. Sekekama's reign marked the end of an era, the last of the great kings who ruled vast territories with unmatched power, wisdom, and a fierce sense of loyalty to his pride. His strength and cunning made him a dominant force, overcoming every challenger who dared to test his might, whether rival lions or the harsh elements of the wild. But Sekekama's legacy is more than a tale of battles and victories. It's the intelligence in his eyes, the wisdom that seemed to look beyond the horizon, and the patience with which he led his pride. It's the confidence in his stride, the way he moved with purpose and dignity, commanding respect from every creature that crossed his path. And it's the dynasty he left behind, strong, united and thriving, ensuring that his bloodline would continue to shape the Savuti for generations to come. Sekekama was a living saga, a symbol of resilience and majesty, whose story echoed through the grasslands long after his paw prints faded from the earth. His story reminds us of the wild's raw beauty, the delicate balance of life and death, and the importance of protecting these magnificent creatures who are the heart and soul of Africa's wilderness. Sekekama was the king who defined an era. His legend endures, inspiring all who dream of the wild, and reminding us that true greatness leaves a mark that time cannot erase. The Savuti Marsh is a land of extremes, where the sun scorches the earth during relentless droughts, only to be replaced by lush, life-giving floods that transform the landscape overnight. This is a place where survival is never guaranteed, and every creature must adapt to the ever-changing rhythms of nature. Here the rules are simple but unforgiving. Only the strongest, the most cunning and the most resilient can hope to endure. In this unforgiving arena, every day is a test. The animals that call Savuti home face constant challenges, scarcity of water, fierce competition for food and the looming threat of predators. Here, only the strongest survive, and the weak are quickly left behind. Lions, the undisputed rulers of this land, grow larger and more powerful than almost anywhere else in Africa. They are bold enough to take on prey as formidable as elephants, a feat rarely seen elsewhere. Their size and courage are forged by the demands of this harsh environment, but even the mighty lions are not unchallenged. Spotted hyenas, cunning and relentless, are ever-present rivals. They challenge the lions for every meal, turning each hunt into a battle of wits and strength. The struggle for dominance is constant, and alliances shift as quickly as the seasons. Into this crucible of competition and danger, Sekekama was born. From his earliest days, he learned that every sunrise brought new threats and new opportunities. For a young lion, every day is a battle for dominance, and only those with the heart of a king can hope to rise above the rest. The Savuti Channel, unpredictable and vital, is the lifeblood of this region. Its waters can vanish for years, only to return in a sudden flood, reshaping the fortunes of every animal that depends on it. When the channel flows, it brings abundance, but also draws predators and prey alike into fierce competition. During Sekekama's reign, the channel flowed strong, turning his territory into a coveted prize. The marsh teemed with life, attracting not just prey, but also rival predators eager to claim a share of the bounty. But with abundance came conflict. Rival lion coalitions, drawn by the promise of food and water, flocked to the marsh. Each group brought its own ambitions, and the struggle for control intensified. Every inch of land became a battleground. Roars echoed across the grasslands as lions fought for dominance, their fates decided by tooth and claw. In Savuti, territory is everything, and only the most formidable can hold it. The land itself is a force to be reckoned with. In Savuti, kings are forged in fire and flood, shaped by storms and droughts that test their strength and resolve. Sekekama didn't just survive these trials, he conquered them. Rising above the chaos, he became the undisputed master of Savuti, a lion whose presence commanded respect from all who saw him. His story is inseparable from this wild land. Every scar on his body tells a tale of struggle and triumph, of battles fought and won in the heart of the marsh. The prey, too, are part of this story. Herds of buffalo and zebra always on the move, always alert to the dangers that lurk in the tall grass. Their vigilance keeps the predators sharp, fueling the endless cycle of life and death. As night falls, the marsh comes alive with the sounds of the wild. Lions roar to stake their claim, hyenas call out in the darkness, and the struggle for supremacy continues under the cover of night. In Savuti, luck means little. Only strength, strategy, and an unbreakable willpower can crown a king. Every decision, every hunt, every confrontation is a test of character and courage. Sekekama embodied all three, ruling a kingdom where every day tested his right to the throne. His leadership was forged in adversity, and his legend grew with every challenge he overcame. The marsh made him a legend, a symbol of power and resilience in a land where only the extraordinary survive. And legends, as Savuti teaches us, are never born by chance. They are shaped by the wild and remembered forever. Every king starts as a prince, and Sekekama's early life was a lesson in survival. Driven from his birth pride with his brothers, he faced exile and danger. Many young males perish, but Sekekama's coalition was different, strong, united, and patient. They roamed the fringes, honing their skills, waiting for the right moment. When their time came, Sekekama led a bold takeover of the Savuti Marsh. The battle was brutal, but his power and determination prevailed. With victory, he transformed from wandering prince to reigning king. His rise was swift, his dominance clear. Sekekama's name became synonymous with power. He fought for his crown, and would defend it with relentless ferocity. The age of Sekekama had begun. Sekekama was a giant, even among Savuti's famously large lions. His broad, muscled frame and dark, battle-scarred mane made him an imposing figure. Rivals hesitated before challenging him. His presence alone was often enough. His mane was both crown and armor, a sign of health and dominance. But it was his reputation that truly defined him. Ferocious, unyielding, and feared by all. His roar echoed for miles, a warning to all intruders. Sekekama was more than muscle. He was a master of his environment, knowing every inch of his vast territory. His strength, intelligence, and presence made him nearly unbeatable. He was the complete king, powerful, strategic, and legendary. In Savuti, his authority was absolute. Sekekama's power rested on the riches of his kingdom. With the Savuti Channel flowing, his territory teemed with prey: buffalo, zebra, wildebeest. This abundance fed his prides, ensuring healthy cubs and a thriving dynasty. At his peak, Sekekama ruled over multiple prides, a rare feat for any lion. He patrolled tirelessly, marking his borders and keeping rivals at bay. His presence brought stability, allowing lionesses to raise the next generation safely. As a father, he was both protector and provider, his mere presence deterring threats. Under his watch, his lineage flourished. But such wealth made his kingdom a constant target. Sekekama's reign was a balance of prosperity and perpetual vigilance. Sekekama's throne was never safe. From the moment he claimed his territory, the shadow of danger loomed over his reign. The wilds of the savannah are ruled by strength, and every king must defend his crown against those who covet it. His success attracted ambitious rivals, nomadic males eager to claim his kingdom. These wandering lions, driven by hunger and instinct, saw Sekekama's pride as the ultimate prize. They traveled great distances, drawn by the promise of power and the hope of starting their own legacy. Each challenger brought brutal battles, testing Sekekama's strength and resolve. The fights were fierce and unforgiving, echoing across the plains as dust and roars filled the air. Every encounter was a test of not just muscle, but of heart and cunning. The musketeers, a coalition of three, posed a grave threat, but Sekekama's experience and size repelled them. Their unity and youth made them formidable, but Sekekama's battle wisdom and sheer presence forced them to retreat, their ambitions dashed for now. Lone challengers tried their luck, only to be vanquished by the king's fury. Some came in the dead of night, others at dawn, but all met the same fate, driven off or defeated by Sekekama's relentless defense. Every victory added to his legend, but each fight left scars. His body bore the marks of countless battles, torn ears, fresh wounds, and old scars that told the story of a life spent in constant conflict. As he aged, the challengers grew younger and more numerous. The next generation, bold and restless, circled him with hungry eyes, eager to prove themselves against the reigning king. Yet Sekekama held his ground for an astonishingly long time. His spirit refused to yield, and his presence alone was enough to make many think twice before attacking. His resilience became legendary. an immovable king against relentless ambition. Stories of his courage spread across the land, inspiring awe and respect in equal measure. His reign was defined by these epic struggles. Each confrontation was a chapter in the saga of his life, shaping the destiny of his pride and the future of the savannah. Every day, he proved his worth anew. Dawn after dawn, he patrolled his borders, roaring his defiance to the world, reminding all who heard him that the king still ruled. Sekekama was a king who never stopped fighting. His legacy was not just in the land he ruled, but in the spirit he embodied, a true champion, forged in the fires of endless challenge. No reign lasts forever. Time wore Sekekama down, the scars of battle ran deep. Younger coalitions sensed his fading strength and the balance of power shifted. The era of long-reigning kings gave way to chaos, frequent takeovers, unstable prides. The peace Sekekama fought for crumbled, replaced by uncertainty. His title, the last great king, marked the end of a golden age. When a new coalition finally overthrew him, it was the natural order. But Sekekama's legend was secure. He had outlasted countless challengers. His fall was not failure, but the closing of an epic chapter. With his passing, Savuti was forever changed. Sekekama's legacy lives on in the lions of Savuti. He fathered countless cubs, passing on his strength and resilience. His descendants now roam the marsh, forming new coalitions and prides. His genetic legacy is a testament to his success as a monarch. Sekekama's story became legend, inspiring guides, researchers, and filmmakers. He set the standard for lion strength and leadership. His saga connects us to the wild, reminding us of the lives and struggles behind every roar. His legacy endures in the lions of Savuti and in the hearts of all who remember the last great king. Sekekama was more than a lion, he was a phenomenon. His life was an epic tale of power, strategy, and survival. He ruled with intelligence and an indomitable will, providing rare stability in a chaotic world. His reign marked the pinnacle of lion achievement. Today, Savuti is more turbulent, making his story all the more significant. Sekekama's legend is a baseline for understanding the challenges lions face now. His story will be told for generations, his memory echoing across the marsh. His spirit lives on in his descendants, and in every tale told around a campfire. Sekekama, the last great king, remains a symbol of Africa's wild heart. His roar may be gone, but his legacy is eternal. In Botswana's legendary Savuti region, where the wild is both beautiful and brutal, one name stood above all others: Sekekama. His story is not just that of a lion, but of a ruler whose very presence shaped the destiny of the land. Sekekama's presence was unmistakable. With every stride he commanded the respect of all who witnessed him. His reign was not a fleeting moment, but an era that left a permanent mark on the Savuti. The grasslands, the rivers, and the creatures that called this place home all felt the weight of his rule. Rival males, often driven by hunger and ambition, would approach the borders of his territory only to stop short, their courage faltering in the shadow of his legend. The mere scent of Sekekama was enough to turn the bravest challengers away, their dreams of conquest dashed before a single roar was uttered. Even the most daring hyenas, notorious for their boldness, and the formidable buffalo herds, known for their strength, kept a respectful distance. They understood that Sekekama was not to be trifled with. His authority was absolute, and his reputation alone could scatter a pack or turn a herd. But Sekekama's dominance was not built on brute force alone. He was a master strategist, blending raw power with a keen intelligence. He knew when to fight, when to wait, and when to let his legend do the work for him. Every move was calculated, every decision weighed with the wisdom of a true king. He didn't waste energy on unnecessary battles. Instead, he let his reputation ripple through the grasslands, a silent warning to all who might consider challenging him. Other animals watched him with a mixture of awe and fear, knowing that to cross Sekekama was to invite disaster. His roar echoed across the plains, a sound that sent shivers through the hearts of rivals and prey alike. It was more than a call, it was a declaration. His name became a warning, his story a lesson in dominance and survival. Tales of Sekekama's victories spread far and wide, whispered by the wind and carried by the animals themselves. He was not just a protector of his pride, but the ultimate guardian of his lineage. Lionesses and cubs gathered around him, secure in the knowledge that under his watchful eye they were safe from harm. To truly understand Sekekama is to understand the relentless struggle for survival in the wild. Every day was a test, every night a challenge. He thrived where others faltered, adapting to the ever-changing rhythms of the Savuti, always one step ahead of danger. His influence extended beyond his pride. The entire ecosystem shifted in response to his movements. Animals changed their paths, herds altered their grazing patterns, and even the scavengers waited for his leftovers. Sekekama shaped the Savuti not just by force but by the sheer weight of his legend. His rule was a living testament to the power of one lion to command both respect and fear. In a world where only the strongest survive, Sekekama stood alone. Unmatched, unchallenged, and unforgettable. Sekekama was not just a king, he was the spirit of Savuti itself, a legend whose legacy endures in every whisper of the wind and every shadow that moves across the golden plains. Sekekama was a giant among lions, bigger, stronger, and more imposing than any rival. His massive frame, crowned by a dark, thick mane, signaled his prime and fighting prowess. Every movement radiated confidence. His presence alone was a challenge. He could bring down prey solo that would take a whole pride, dragging carcasses with ease. His strength was legendary, but it was his aura that truly set him apart. Other lions hesitated in his presence, their confidence shaken by his sheer scale. Sekekama was a living monument to natural selection, a force of nature, not just a lion. His physical dominance was the foundation of his reign. In Savuti, he was the titan who bent the land to his will. Sekekama's legend was forged in battle, where every sunrise brought new threats, and every sunset marked another day survived. In the wild, only the strongest endure, and Sekekama's journey was a relentless test of strength, will, and cunning. He met every challenge with explosive power and ruthless efficiency, never hesitating when danger loomed. His muscles coiled like springs, ready to unleash fury at a moment's notice, and his instincts were honed by countless skirmishes. When 3 young males invaded, he faced them head-on, his roar shaking the ground and echoing across the plains. The sound was a warning and a promise. He would not yield, no matter the odds. He fought with calculated rage, breaking each challenger's spirit and body. Every swipe of his paw was measured, every bite delivered with precision. The battles were brutal, but Sekekama's control was absolute. His victories were brutal and decisive. He didn't just win, he made examples. The defeated limped away, scarred in body and mind, while Sekekama stood tall, his mane stained with the marks of war. Rivals learned that challenging Sekekama meant risking utter destruction. His reputation spread far beyond his territory, whispered among prides and loners alike. Even the boldest thought twice before crossing his path. His aggression extended to all threats. He would scatter hyena clans with a single charge, sending them fleeing in terror. No predator dared test his patience, and even scavengers respected his rule. Every battle reinforced his place at the top of the food chain. His pride watched in awe as he defended their home, knowing that their safety depended on his strength and courage. His name alone deterred most challengers. Young males lingered at the borders, dreaming of conquest but paralyzed by fear, unwilling to face the living legend. Sekekama's reign was written in scars and stories of fearless dominance. Each mark on his body told a tale of survival, of battles fought and won, of a king who refused to fall. He was the king, and every fight was a chapter in his epic saga. A saga of power, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of a true ruler. Sekekama's true genius was his mind. While his physical power was undeniable, it was his intellect that truly set him apart from other lions. In the wild, brute strength alone is never enough. It is the mind that turns a strong lion into a legendary ruler. He was a master tactician, using patience and the lay of the land to his advantage. Sekekama would wait for hours, hidden in the tall grass, studying the movements of his rivals and prey. He understood the importance of timing, striking only when the odds were in his favor. Every inch of his territory was familiar to him. He patrolled his domain with a pattern that was never predictable, making it nearly impossible for intruders to anticipate his movements. This unpredictability kept his enemies on edge, never knowing when or where he might appear. His roars were not just a display of power, they were carefully timed messages. At dawn and dusk, his voice would echo across the savannah, warning rivals and reassuring his pride. The sound marked his territory as much as his scent, creating an invisible wall that few dared to cross. Sekekama was a master of psychological warfare. He knew that sometimes the threat of violence was more effective than violence itself. By staring down his rivals and holding his ground, he often won battles without ever lifting a paw. He chose his battles with care, never wasting energy on unnecessary fights. Instead, he watched and waited, always alert, always calculating. This patience allowed him to conserve his strength for the moments that truly mattered. When confrontation was unavoidable, Sekekama assessed his opponents with a keen eye. He used intimidation and displays of dominance to avoid conflict when possible, but when forced to fight, he unleashed his full fury with precision and purpose. This strategic restraint kept him in peak condition. By avoiding needless injury and exhaustion, Sekekama remained healthy, strong, and always ready to defend his reign. His intelligence elevated him above the rest. He was not just a fighter, but a ruler, a leader who inspired loyalty and respect from his pride. Sekekama's reign was a testament to the power of brains over brawn. His scars told stories of battles won, but his legacy was built on strategy and wisdom. He was a king who understood the art of survival in all its forms, navigating not just the dangers of the land, but the minds of his enemies. In the wilds of Savuti, cunning was as vital as strength, and Sekekama possessed both in abundance, making him a true legend of the savannah. Sekekama ruled the Savuti Marsh, the most coveted territory in Africa. The marsh's water and prey made it a paradise for lions, but also a constant target. Sekekama defended it relentlessly, his presence deterring most rivals. His pride thrived with strong lionesses and healthy cubs. Thanks to his protection, every inch of land was hard-won, every day a test of vigilance. His control over Savuti was the cornerstone of his legacy. He fought not just for himself, but for the future of his bloodline. Under Sekekama, the Marsh Pride became the region's most powerful dynasty. Sekekama's greatest weapon was fear. His reputation alone kept most challengers at bay. Stories of his victories spread, creating an aura of invincibility. His roar, deep and resonant, was a warning that echoed for miles. The sight of him, massive, scarred, and confident, intimidated all. Many rivals surrendered territory without a fight, unwilling to face him. This psychological dominance saved him energy and reduced conflict. Fear became his silent guardian, patrolling his borders day and night. Sekekama's legend grew not just from battles won, but from those never fought. He ruled as much with his mind as with his might. Sekekama's reign lasted far longer than most lions. His secret? A blend of resilience, intelligence, and strategic restraint. He avoided serious injuries, ending fights quickly and decisively. As he aged, he adapted, learning, refining tactics, and deepening his knowledge of Savuti. Experience became his greatest asset, outmatching younger rivals. He was ever present, patrolling daily to prevent threats from taking root. Sekekama only fought when necessary, conserving strength for true challenges. His dedication and wisdom allowed him to rule into old age. He was a master of survival, not just dominance. Sekekama's legacy was built on endurance as much as power. Sekekama's rule was marked by unexpected cooperation. He shared power with his brother and allies, understanding the strength of coalitions. This teamwork made defending vast Savuti possible. He used intimidation to avoid unnecessary fights, saving his strength for real threats. His reputation grew, reducing direct challenges and granting him peace. Sekekama's genes, size, strength, resilience were passed to his many cubs. His legacy was not just legend, but living bloodline. He created a dynasty that would shape Savuti for generations. Sekekama was a king who ruled with both wisdom and might. Sekekama's story is a lesson in greatness. He was the perfect blend of power, intelligence, and psychological mastery. His reign shaped the Savuti ecosystem, his presence dictating the lives of all. The Marsh Pride flourished, his genes spreading through generations. He balanced aggression with restraint, always adapting to survive. Sekekama was more than a survivor. He was a legend. His spirit endures in every lion that roams Savuti. The echo of his reign will never be forgotten.